The Rise of Skywalker unveils a brand new look at the Zorri Bliss character. That is the headline on today's Force Friday show. And Stephen, we will be starting with that headline about the Zorri Bliss character, of course, played by Kerry Russell. And this one is coming in from Digital Spy, but via Entertainment Weekly, if you like. They have shared an all-new image of, and I quote, mysterious masked character holding some sort of circular object. Now, Stephen, they are suggesting this could be perhaps a tracking device or some form of data stick or a lovely token that she has found at the bottom of a cereal box. I suggested it could be akin to what John Wick has in his neat little criminal underworld universe, where you stab your finger or whatever with blood. It's a blood pact, and then you owe another criminal, or they owe you a favour, if you like. Perhaps that's what she's clutching here, and Poe's calling in a favour, because as we do know, well, some of us, she has an affinity with Poe in some form or fashion. What do you make of the image, first things first?
I'm loving that helmet, John. It looks
it's magnificent, isn't
it? Looks like the slave ship. Slave 1 ship. I think you're right, John. If it was to be anything, it would make sense. It would be some kind of, as you said, some John Wick type thing, coin,
maybe it's
whatever
the
it
keys
is.
to her ship.
That kind of thing would intrigue me. It gives you a more sort of idea of how the underworld and the Star Wars galaxy is run as well. But again, I didn't think of it. It could be a tracking device, but I don't think it is, because why would you want to take a photograph of that? I think that's what it is. I think it's some kind of a underworld sort of symbol. I think you're right, John. But one of the things I'm getting from the description of the character as well, it does say, I can't wait for you to meet Zorri. I think this is
Kerry Russell
saying this. She's very cool and a little bit shady. She's kind of a criminal and sort of this old friend of Poe's now. Again, sounds like a bit of a scoundrel. We've been there before, but this character, since we saw I think it was the costume set photographs that were released a few months ago.
Yeah, I think it may have been Entertainment Weekly back then as well, Stephen. They showed you a series of behind-the-scenes shots.
And this is certainly a closer-up shot. But yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by it. I hope they can utilise the character more importantly. I don't want to see another Captain Phasma-esque handling of a character that looks pretty cool.
Stephen, I don't know what to make of the actual character itself in terms of what she's going to be doing, how she's going to be flung into the actual story. Until we actually see the movie, I can't really divulge any more on that, because I don't know. I wish I did. But if I was to be a guessing man, I would say she is going to be, as Kerry does allude to, and if indeed it's not a double bluff or an elaborate ruse, I'd think she is going to be this shady sort of a bounty hunter character. That would be my guess. Perhaps a connection into some criminal underworld network or something for perhaps Poe to maybe access and then get his hands on something. Maybe it is this Wayfinder to try and find the goddamn Emperor wherever he is out in this uncharted regions. That could be a possibility. It does say that she knows him, as I alluded to earlier, and that she has this shady side, as Kerry Russell has stated herself. So maybe she is this network, part of this network, akin to what perhaps Kira was in Solo.
I kind of like what you're saying, John, but something tells me this is just going to be a reminder of Poe's sort of history, where he's came from. I think it's going to be more of a symbolic character, sadly, I think. You know what we're like, Star Wars fans, we like to look into everything and build these things up in our heads, and then we're majorly disappointed. But you get somebody like Kerry Russell coming in, to be fair, you're not going to underutilise her, surely.
And she does say that her son now finds her cool.
Max von Sydow was.
Yeah, that was a travesty. He was such a very interesting character.
Yeah.
We could have done so much more with him. But then, Stephen, as you did say previously, we could have done so much more with Captain Phasma as well. You had a great actress in Gwendoline Christie, and you just flung her under the bus repeatedly in the previous two movies.
Chrome Dome,
Chrome Dome, good lord. She had such potential to just have that being an overarching sort of I don't know what you'd even call it, perhaps a grudge match between her and Finn. With also the main story being Kyle and Rey, and then those two fighting in the background, and it being a little less in scale and level. Also, that's a Force Titanic galaxy battle, and they're perhaps just a mere mortal battle below, but they never utilised it.
No.
Sadly, I don't know what we're getting now. Time will tell. But the character itself, visually, I never actually spoke about that. I think that was the primary topic, the primary reason behind the topic, looking at this new photograph. Helmet's very cool, as you did say, Stephen. Does give off vibes of Slave 1, the side profile, but it also looks like the Predators as well, I think.
Yeah.
That kind of a strange thing going on at the back.
Yeah.
And that token, I did say, I mean, I was jesting about the John Wick thing. It would be cool if that was perhaps a manner in which to get into this organisation.
Why else would they take?
But it could be keys there. It could be some sort of a way to control a ship. Maybe it's a beacon.
I don't know. It just seems to be like they're going out their road to show you, though, John.
It's strange,
if it was something so irrelevant, I don't know why they would.
And she's either looking at it or she's flashing it at someone as if, well, I now get entrance because I've got this thing.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, but all in all, she's a great actress. She's very passionate about being in the movie. She says time and again it was a great experience. She really enjoyed the story. I think she said she was crying at one point. And look, hats off to her. She's got a chance to star. It's hopefully a sizable role in this movie. And the character looks very cool, but I've not got much more to add to that, Stephen. It was a very cool photograph. And I do thank Entertainment Weekly very, very much for giving us this cool photo. Incidentally, they showed us a photo of that droid builder who repaired Kylo Ren's cracked helmet. So there was another photograph in there. Haven't seen it yet, but I will have a little gander after the show. And on that note, I will move on, because I am gibbering wildly, to the next topic. And it's all about John Boyega apparently clashing, Stephen, with Star Wars fans about when the next Rise of Skywalker trailer will drop. And the general gist of this one is that I believe his agent, Femi Ogans, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, posted an image on Instagram showing the stars of the Rise of Skywalker with a Monday Night Football logo beside them. And of course, that's the NFL. They have a Monday night slot where it's prime time. And then usually at half time in those games, you would see a big trailer released or dropped. A lot of fans jumped on the bandwagon. It was posted, I believe, previous to Monday there. They thought it was coming out on Monday there. Turns out it wasn't, and now they're getting off at John Boyega. They're saying they misled them, and now he's trying
unaware of it.
He's completely unaware. He says, and he's trying to placate them, if you like, by saying that he didn't know when the Star Wars trailer was coming out. He hasn't made any announcements, and they'll just have to wait for the studio to release it. He then further went on to say that something's in motion though, and it won't be far away. What's your thoughts on this? Does this just speak volumes about how much of a great mitigator, if that's even the correct word, mediator, I think's the better word, John Boyega is?
I think the main three in this trilogy, the new generation of characters, have done very well to stay away from leaks and stuff like that and spoilers. They've obviously had a hard lesson from the likes of Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill.
Prowse.
I don't know about that. I believe him actually, but thousands wouldn't. Listen, John, I think it's one of those honest mistakes, as we say here in Scotland. I think it was just a tease. It backfired, basically, and I think it will be coming out during Monday Night Football. Over here it'll be Tuesday, early hours of Tuesday morning, of course, but pretty sure we'll probably be staying up for that like we always do, John, when the big trailer comes up.
Stephen, I stay up all the time for NFL games. As you do know, I am a big Patriots fan and a big fan of the NFL in general, so I will certainly be staying up for that one when it drops. I'm actually looking ahead to see what is the Monday Night Football game coming up, and it is actually the Cowboys and the Eagles. Very big match, that, divisional rivals. Obviously both fighting it out for, I think, the top spot in the division, so that would seem like a very good spot to perhaps drop the Star Wars trailer. I think it will be this Monday coming.
It's
I
funny,
think he's got his dates wrong.
It's funny. I think so as well, John. I think it will be, because we're getting to that stage now. It's always round about this time when the main trailer drops. But it's interesting as well that that they're putting it in, halfway in through a football match, an American football match, where you wouldn't expect that to be the demographic, but Star Wars at the end of the day,
I think it's just because prime time over there. It's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. But everybody tunes in usually. Well, not everybody.
Yeah, but also I think in the stadium as well, they have the screens,
they have it on,
and they play it, and the crowd go crazy.
Certainly in the Cowboy Stadium, it's one of the biggest and best stadiums, state of the art.
I think John Boyega's right to defend himself if he didn't do it. We'll never be able to know that, but listen, it doesn't matter. I mean, he doesn't even have to come on social media to defend himself. I think he's doing that to show face to the studio, actually. I think he's panicking a little bit. What's he got to panic about? That stuff's in the can. I'm sure he's got his check.
Doesn't care.
He's not coming back, is he?
No, and he's a very accomplished actor, Stephen, with a great career ahead of him, inside or outside of Star Wars. He doesn't give a damn.
Do you think they hold his wage until the film's release?
Not a chance. He will. Well, I don't know how they actually do that, Stephen. It may be monthly paid. Sadly, I have no idea. I am not an actor. I wish I was.
Maybe they hold a percentage of it, 50% back.
Maybe, and it may actually be.
Keep their mouth shut.
Perhaps they get cuts of the. Well, they won't be cuts of the performance off the box office.
No.
Lord, no, they'd be the richest people in the world if they did. But Stephen, I'm actually just looking at some of the comments, and they are ridiculous, really. One replied, "Don't tell us to relax. Y'all are in no position to keep us, the fans, waiting after that." Y'all. After that trash-ass movie in 2017. Can't help but agree with that slightly. But look, why are they attacking John Boyega? It's just ridiculous. I think, Stephen, this is just, again, a manifestation of modern day society. Just this instant gratification. Everybody needs... I've got a platform, everything.
So yeah. I will say what I like. I've got my rights.
I will say what I like. I've got anonymity, and I can just trash these actors. And then when they give it back, they get all butthurt and shrink into themselves. Precious little petals that they are, or snowflakes, depending on what you would term it. But look, it's just just a manifestation of today's society. Yeah. Very needy. Need everything instantly.
I was just checking his Twitter name there. It's obviously not his real name. Bears established 1920.
Yeah, I take it he's a Chicago Bears fan then.
Could be.
Yeah, his team's not doing so good either. Oh, what, mate? But yeah, look, Stephen, it is what it is. His agent's taking some heat as well. John rightly says, my agent couldn't care less, to be honest. Lol. So yeah, I've got not much more to add to it. I'm siding with John Boyega. Stephen, I'll go one step further. I don't even think we need another trailer. There you go. I think we've seen enough for this movie. People who will be going to watch this movie have now set their mind at going to watch the movie. Obviously, they are going to drop it. There'll be a point where they'll drop it with tickets pre-sale.
I don't know what else they can show you, to be honest.
They can't show you anything. They can't show you nothing, Stephen, so there's no need. Yeah, nothing, as Andy Serkis would probably say. A good Cockney lad. I think it's Cockney. Don't know. But look, I don't want the trailer. I don't really care. I'm going to see it regardless. And I'm siding with Boyega. We will do a reaction because we have got those views to try and pull in. But if you look at our most recent reaction video, then perhaps they won't come. It's flopping and hard. Go and watch that if you haven't, incidentally. But look, Stephen, we'll move on that note to the next topic. And this one is perhaps the most interesting of the entire show. Yeah. Some would say, that being me.
Some might say.
Yes. Will the Knights of Ren have anything to do with Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars Rise of Skywalker? Is the question being pondered by One Cinema Blend. Now, Stephen, they have, I think, 3 primary theories which have arisen from this question. I will ponder these to you. I will pass them over to you and you can give me your thoughts. Then I'll come in and say what I think is the most likely and what I think of them as well. First one, the Knights of Ren are under the instruction of Emperor Palpatine. And they're saying, essentially, that they are not the Knights of Ren, they are the Knights of Sheath, if you like. They are nowhere, that's why they were nowhere to be found. They are actually under the tutelage of Sheath Palpatine. And this may explain why we're getting some Sith on Sith and Ren on Ren action in that trailer sequence when we see Kylo thrusting his blade down and obviously pushing the guy down. Maybe he's fighting his own knights because it's been discovered that they're actually working for Emperor.
I'm laughing, John, but at no point has the Knights of Ren been mentioned in the films. I don't know on other formats like books or comics if they've been referred to as the Knights of Ren.
Or the Knights of Sheath.
Yeah, exactly. So they can be called anything they want, you know. It's an interesting concept. It would make sense why it looks like he is attacking his own.
Yeah, close lining.
Because that's exactly what I took from the trailer, John. The first trailer it dropped was that somebody had turned on him or he had turned on them. So it's possible. I don't like that name though, the Knights of Sheath.
Knights of Sheath, no, the Knights of Palpatine.
It's almost like the Pirates are
Masquerade. Yeah.
Terrible.
Not very good. No. Stephen, they say that, look, essentially you could be busy commanding the First Order, Kylo that is, and they're off nefariously stabbing him in the back, trying to, in a sense, either follow the instructions for uncovered plans or actually discovering Sheath Palpatine's essence and resurrecting him. I think it's garbage. I don't think this will happen at all. They are very much the Knights of Ren. There's a reason they were seen in that sequence in the rain in The Force Awakens, and that will be perhaps explored in this movie. As you said, time and again, it's a flash forward, and I think we'll see that, and I think they're very much with Kylo Ren. The reason for that clothesline, I think it could be that he turns good or is redeemed, sees the error of his ways, and then he actually has to attack his own people.
He's not got his mask on at that point,
I don't think he has, no. So I think that may be the explanation for that short little sequence. But the next theory, Stephen, is Palpatine is one of the Knights of Ren. And what they're saying is that he could secretly be in this group with a life support system, and that he is actually a Knights of Ren, hiding like he did as the puppet master, masquerading as a, what was he in the original or in the prequel trilogy? He was Senator Palpatine. I can't recall. I know he was Chancellor.
He was a senator and then he was a Chancellor.
Yeah, he was Senator initially, and he was playing everyone like a puppet master.
He did it all in front of them.
I know, but it's just because he was very intelligent, Stephen. He was very sneaky in his way and manoeuvre people around.
I don't buy that one. I don't think he's done all his hiding. You know, he's
very small as well. Ian McDermott, he's only 5'9".
Yeah, but if
they're very tall.
What you said that he's possessing, it could be possessing not just the suit but the actual person inside.
Could it be Matt Smith as a Knights of Ren?
It could be.
Or a Knight of Ren, not plural, and that he's possessing him after all, and it's uncovered.
But I did read that they weren't going to unmask the Knights of Ren as well, John.
So
I don't know.
That's that one dead then. Stephen, I don't think that is the explanation for Sheaf coming back. I don't think he is part of the Knights of Ren. The final one is perhaps for me the most likely, and it says that the Knights of Ren have been protecting Emperor Palpatine all along. Essentially, Kylo discovered the whereabouts of his essence, or perhaps he's possessing something or whatnot, an inanimate object, and he sent the Knights of Ren off.
A rock.
Oh, yeah, a rock. That'd be interesting. Maybe it's a bit of metal from the Death Star 2, I don't know. But essentially, they're not actually saying that he knew of the whereabouts of Palpatine. They're saying in this theory that he sent them off to try and find the whereabouts of Palpatine, searching for Force users, and that they stumbled upon him, and that they've been protecting him throughout the sequence of events we've seen in the previous two sequel.
That would explain their absence, John.
Yeah. And then obviously that's why they're not there to help Kylo out in his time of need, although he's never really been in much danger, has he, when you think about it? But look, I think that's the most likely. If it's to be any, I think that perhaps if he has got a connection with the Knights of Ren, I think Kylo's sent them out to discover the Emperor, perhaps before the events of The Force Awakens or during it. They went out to the uncharted regions, Wayfinder or not, discovered them, and then they're protecting them in time for the events of Rise of Skywalker, when Kylo will then join them, perhaps resurrect him like Voldemort and Christ, what one was it? The Goblet of Fire? I think it was a Goblet of Fire. And then he comes back fully bodied, or perhaps just clutching onto a helmet or something, and I don't know.
I think out of the three of them, John, it's probably the most possible theory that could play out. I suppose it would make sense. It would make sense for the absence of the Knights of Ren. It would make sense that in episode 7, when Ben was looking for Luke, he could have detected some Force activity on that planet Endor. Assuming it was Luke sent his knights out while he went after Rey and Finn, etc., what was played out in the Force Awakens, and it turns out it wasn't the light side of the Force that he detected, it was the dark side, and it was Palpatine. I don't know. Could that flash forward sequence we've seen in the Force Awakens be him rejoining his Knights of Ren on Endor while it's raining? I think because remember, I think a lot of people, Stephen, forget that Endor was destroyed by the falling debris of the Death Star 2 after the events of Return of the Jedi. It will not be that beautiful, lush, wooded environment we've seen. Well, there will be the thing that's drastic changes. Me about where they refer to Endor, or that part of the film, the forest moon. Yeah, it's the moon of Endor. Yeah. So the forest moon might be the moon that orbits the actual planet. I don't know. I'd have to obviously. I always took it to be that it was like Yavin 4. Endor was a gas giant, and then the moon wasn't as like Yavin 3. Yeah, no, for holidays. Yeah. No. Well, Poe actually grew up on Yavin 4, Stephen, incidentally, and that will probably take us on nicely to the final topic, which involves one Poe Dameron, not Cameron Poe, as I said earlier on. And it's aggressive negotiations. Put the Barney back in the box. Aggressive negotiations unfold in Journey to Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, Allegiance number 3. This is a comic book release, Stephen, and we are being whisked off to the locale of Mon Cala. Yeah. What is it like? They're all floating. Like I says to you, it's like Aquaman. Yeah. They're floating around like William Dafoe and Patrick Wilson. And obviously the humanoids can't obviously accept the atmosphere there, and kind of cages or something like that floating about. It's all very mystical looking.
It is. Well, Stephen, funnily enough, I says to you that we had, I think actually it wasn't the actual expanded universe, we did have incidents where we went to Mon Cal, I'm sure, in the expanded universe.
I think C-3PO in there, he doesn't breathe.
I don't know. He's circuitry, he can't have it underwater, it'll blow him. Which would probably make
He's doing his best to be Kylo there, isn't he? He's not as wide though.
He's got a very high waist, but not as wide a chest. But yes, Stephen, we have had incidences where we've met the Mon Cal. I think it was perhaps in, it may have been Lost Star, that Claudia Gray book, where I mind hearing that something about, I think they've got high humidity levels in their ship because they have to have high humidity.
Sweaty,
and obviously waterborne creatures, so they need high humidity. Perhaps this isn't in the water after all, it's just an elaborate building or something, and the humidity levels are completely unbearable. It was a trap, Stephen, incidentally, because they have been drawn into a trap in this episode. It's very cool.
Yes.
I say episode, this, what would you call it? Run?
This
graphic novel, this issue, yes. Well, essentially they have went on in an ordnance mission. They have been attacked by a band of ruthless bounty hunters, and it's all went to the shit on Mon Cal. Some Quarren, I believe it is, is running the streets, if you like, of Dax City, and then it all goes to shit. What are your thoughts on this, Stephen? Is this something that would perhaps, I know you have not read a lot of the graphic novels, is this something which would draw you in to the graphic novels? I find it very strange seeing all of the gang on Mon Calamari or Mon Cal. Rey's there, Leia's there, Finn's there, Poe's there, Chewbacca's there, C-3PO, but no R2-D2.
I always say that Lucasfilm do things ass about face because they try to build their arc before a film's released by calling it the journey to the next film. Just make the films, and then when you're not making films, make separate stories that you can maybe use further down the line to make films. I don't like that. I don't have to depend on reading a novel or reading comic books or watching, an animated series to get what's happening in a film. It's too much like hard work to me. Time's precious as far as I'm concerned. I work, and I don't have the time to really get invested in side issues. I want to get to the main event, and that is the films. I'm not having a go at obviously the other platforms, John. I do enjoy reading comic books. I do enjoy reading novels, but I don't think the fans of the franchise should be forced into. I'm not saying they are forced into it, but it kind of adds to the experience, if you like, and it's kind of bending an arm behind the back, and for the sort of more dedicated Star Wars fans out there, they feel they need it, they have to. They did it with Rogue One, the build up to that as well. I
mind reading the Tarkin book. It really did make that a more fulfilling experience. That's what I would say.
But the Tarkin one's more detached. It wasn't like the journey to Rogue One or anything.
Yeah, it was just showing you his backstory. And then it obviously filled in some gaps.
I just seeing the linking it on the front of a film that's coming up. People out there will feel inclined to need that. They might think, I need to read this or I'm not going to understand what's going on in the film. Nonsense. You will understand what's going on in the film. So I would prefer they built their arc up, Lucasfilm that is, as separate stuff away from the films, and then maybe decades down the line they can go back to those comic strips and and say, let's make a film about this now, because that was pretty cool. And it was a successful run as well.
Stephen, I don't believe any of the events in this comic book run will have any implications for the Rise of Skywalker.
It won't, John, but I think a lot of people will think it does because it says Journey to Star Wars or the Rise of Skywalker. Don't put that in there.
Stephen, I agree with you to an extent. I do like the extended mediums of obviously novels and whatnot, and how that can perhaps inform you for maybe side characters who will pop up briefly. But in terms of this opportunity they have, they could begin off and fleshing out new worlds, new characters, and then we can take the best ones and adapt them into movies and TV shows. Like what they did with the expanded universe, they brought the great Thrawn character from those books briefly into Rebels, and then there's never-ending talk that he could appear in a movie at some point. I still hold out hope that we could see a Mara Jade spin-off at some point. She was a fantastic character. That's what you should be doing with these mediums, with the novels and the canon comics and whatnot. Go off, create new characters, new interesting locales, like George Lucas has been saying. That was one of his big criticisms of The Force Awakens and the sequels. They're not different enough, there's nothing new there. You can say what you want about that guy, his directing is god awful at times, his dialogue is shit, but his imagination, ability to conjure up new locations, amazing lush environments like Felucia and whatnot, even Coruscant, it's mind-bending and it's brilliant. That's what they should be doing with this. They've got an amazing group of graphic artists and minds involved in creating these stories. I'm sure they're very interesting, the ones I've read are, but use this opportunity away from the main arcs to create new stories, new characters. Don't lump every single one of the gang from the sequel trilogy in. It makes no sense. It isn't going to connect in any way. I've seen Christian Harloff speak about it time and again, where he says that that's one of his big disappointments. Kathleen Kennedy and the people involved in Lucasfilm and the actual movies don't do enough to link all of the extended stuff in, and it really did disillusion him to the extent where he stopped reading all the stuff. And it's been similar to me, Stephen, but look, very cool in terms of the actual graphics and whatnot, the visuals of the comic, and the story I'm sure is pretty neat as well. I'm not down the people involved in that at all, but look, that's going to round up the show. I'm giving away incessantly. What did you guys make of the variety of topics we spoke about? What do you make of that new Zorri Bliss character, that new image? Do you think it's a John Wick thing? Is it cars to her ship, or keys to her ship? What do you make of the Rise of Skywalker, or the Knights of Ren theory, I should say? Are they connected to the Emperor? What one do you think is the most likely? And what the hell do you make about comics as well? If you've got anything to say about them, you can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And me and Stephen will be back on Monday with MBE Movie News.